Hey, what's up everybody? It's Mr. Pratt here, and this is Lions and Tigers. So as you know, I'm always bringing you accessible, modifiable, and engaging content for the classroom and at home. And this game, Lions and Tigers, is one of my go-to games. The beauty of Lions and Tigers is it's great for any age, any grade, and really any ability. I've played this game with up to 70 students in a gym. As is most of my content, it's also very modifiable. You can make this game fitness-based, you can make it running-based, you can have it just basic tag, all within one simple game. So for your setup for Lions and Tigers, you technically don't need anything. All you really need is lines on the floor if you're in a gym, or a few markers to indicate where teams can start. In this case, when I can, I use cones or pylons to help give students a visual. Green is where students are going to start. Yellow is where they're going to have to slow down and what is a safe zone for one team. And red is going to indicate where they have to stop. And you can see I've reinforced most of my markers with the lines. So the yellow cones are on a blue line, the red cones are on a red line. Again, if you can just use lines in your gym, you don't need to use the markers, but I find they're quite helpful. So with 6 pylons, or I guess 12 if you want to put some at the other side, you're all set for Lions and Tigers. Alright, so here's how Lions and Tigers works. The basic setup is you're going to split your group into 2 different teams. One team being the Lions, one team being the Tigers. Once you have split up your teams, you're going to have them line up beside one of the 2 green cones, and they're going to be facing each other. So if I was on the Lions team over here, I would line up along this pylon or beside this pylon. Okay, my teammates would be lined up beside me. Nice and spread out. Half students do the T-arms if you have to, so there's lots of space for everybody. Okay? Now the Tigers team would be doing the same thing, just on the opposite side. So we're actually going to be facing across from the other team. Now, once you have teams set up, and your Lions and your Tigers, the game's really simple. If you call Lions, the Lions are going to turn around and they are going to run. Now, if they're running, usually that means someone's chasing them. And in this case, it will be the Tigers. So again, if Lions are called, everybody on the Lions side is going to turn and they're going to start running, okay? The Tigers team will be pursuing them this direction, okay? And when I first start playing this game, I make sure I point the direction that students are supposed to run, just to help them learn the game and make sure there's no big collisions off the start. Now, when the Lions are running, their goal is to get past the yellow cone, the yellow pylon, or in this case, the blue line, without being tagged by a tiger, okay? If they're able to make it past the yellow cone or the blue line, this is a safe zone, and the distance between the yellow and the red pylon is just for them to slow their bodies down and safely stop by the red line. You don't want to be using walls as boundaries, of course, because if a student trips, that's going to get dangerous really quick. While that's happening, Tigers are chasing the Lions. If Tigers can successfully tag a lion, or multiple lions, depending on how you're playing, the lions that they tag will slowly stop running, making sure they're not making any sudden side-to-side movements. And if they have been tagged at the start of the next round, they will then switch over to the Tigers team. So any lions who made it to the yellow pylon without being tagged are safe. They simply come back to their same spot. Any lions who are tagged by a tiger are going to switch over to the other team, and now they're a part of the Tigers team. The exact same thing happens if Tigers are called, but in reverse. If Tigers are called, they're going to turn and run this way. Lions are going to pursue the Tigers. Now, a couple safety things, of course, to keep in mind. We already talked about not using walls as boundaries. That's super dangerous. We don't want to be doing that. Other things, we have to remind students to be running in straight lines, right? This is great for them to work on maintaining a straight course. Side-to-side movement, of course, becomes dangerous when you have, up to 15 or 30 students running after another 15 or 30. It becomes dangerous if students aren't moving in safe lines. It's also super important that you remind them to stay on their feet unless you've instructed them to do otherwise. If students fall or anything like that, you need to make sure they're ready to stop to make sure everybody stays safe. You don't want anybody getting stepped on. This is also a great game for teaching students appropriate ways of tagging, right? A tag is a touch, not a push. When somebody's running away from you, if you tag them hard or push them, their momentum is already leaning forward because they're running that direction, and it becomes really dangerous, right? So this is a great time to talk about tags being touches on things like shoulders, lightly on the back, on arms, appropriate and safe places to tag. And as always with any game, especially in elementary schools, teaching kids to keep their heads up, eyes open, being aware of their surroundings, working on that spatial awareness so they're staying nice and safe. The basics format we've already went over. There are some ways to modify lions and tigers as well. One of the ways to modify this game is just having students work in partners. So instead of being able to tag multiple lions or tigers, they're just able to tag the partner that they're standing across from. So if I was a tiger, my partner's across from me as a lion, just the two of us could be working together, trying to see if we can tag one another. You could have them have to switch teams and be captured by their partner, and maybe that person could then face off with another student from the opposing team. Or you could just have the partners working together and just playing for fun with no team switching. These are some ideas just to keep you and your students engaged. It also allows you to use the same game for multiple classes without students getting bored. One of the beauties of this modification is that it allows student pairing based on ability. So if you have two really fast students who are never getting tagged, you can have them face off against one another, and it's going to be more challenging, more engaging, and more exciting for them. This game can also be made modifiable to be touchless. To make it touchless, you do have to work with a partner. So if I was standing across from my partner, we can use the same pylon and line markers, but the game would just take out the touch. So if I was chasing my lion partner and I'm able to get to the yellow cone or the blue line before the person I was chasing, that would count as being captured or tagged, like in the original version, okay? Obviously that's going to be difficult because my partner's going to have a head start on this. And the last way I like to modify this is my most common modification, is just adding in a little bit of fitness and a little bit of literacy as well. So for the fitness piece, you can actually have students start in different positions, right? So instead of just standing on their feet as tigers and lions, you can have them doing a 1-foot balance. You could have them, when they're pursuing each other, doing 2-foot hops or different animal walks, right? Bear crawls, crab walks, log rolls, all these different kinds of things. You can also have them start in different positions. As I said before, with balances, you could have them holding a squat. You could have them holding a plank, right? You can have them with the back of their head laying on the line. And this is going to trick them into doing sit-ups while you're playing the game. So these are different things that I do. Now when you add in fitness and you add in some different animal walks and people laying on the floor, it's of course important to reinforce those safety rules we talked about earlier. You don't want somebody laying on the ground when other people are running. So I always just remind students, it's a game, it's fun, safety comes first before tagging someone and feeling successful in a game. So if you see somebody still laying on the ground, don't run to pursue them, don't run to pursue other people, just allow that person time to stand up and get out of the way. And as I said, I like to throw in some literacy every once in a while when I'm doing this too, so you can read students a story about lions and tigers, or you can even just make one up. That's what I usually do. And I kind of try and trick them into reacting before they're supposed to. So, you can say, 1, 2, 3, go. They're not supposed to move when you say go, but they will. Okay, it makes it a little bit more fun. You can add in, like I said, a story. So, once upon a time, there was a leopard. And they're all gonna start moving because they think you're calling lions. Oh, nope, tricked ya, right? That leopard had a friend named Tom. They're gonna start moving. These are the things that I do to kind of mix it up, keep it fun, keep it exciting for students. A few other ways to modify this. Of course, the distance between the pylons is something you can modify depending on the age of your participants, how far you want them to be moving, how big your space is. Of course, this is super condensed just for the purposes of this video. I would never actually have it this close, but you can modify the space as you need. Typically with younger students, I'm going to have the space of the two starting points much further apart. You're going to give students a bit of a chance to move the wrong direction and correct themselves before they're running into the opposing team, right? So if Lions is called and I'm supposed to go this way, and I do that little first step forward and kind of realize, uh-oh, I'm going the wrong way, I have enough time to turn around and start running, probably before my partner or the opposing team is going to be able to tag. This distance, this super close distance, I might use with, junior high, middle school students, because they're going to have quicker reaction time. They're not going to be as easily tricked by the Lions versus the Tigers. They're going to know what team they're on, and they're not going to need as much space. If you give them too much space, the game's going to be too hard or not challenging enough, right? Because they're probably not going to be able to get anybody on the opposing team, because the distance they have to make up right off the start is too big. All right, everyone, so that about does it for one of my favorite games, Lions and Tigers. As I said earlier in this video, Lions and Tigers is a staple of my phys ed class. It's such a great game, very modifiable, can be used to work on so many different important fundamental movement skills and different types of locomotion and non-locomotor skills such as balances. This is a game that you'll be playing for a long, long time if you take the time to learn it and try it out with your students. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit that subscribe button down there, sign up for notifications so you can see my weekly videos, like and share away. If you do intend to use this game or you try it out in your class, please feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know how it went. But for now, this is Mr. Pratt signing off from Lions and Tigers.